If you're wanting to teach your kids how to bake with sourdough, then look no further, because today I'm sharing my complete roadmap on where to start teaching your kids this old-fashioned skill. Hey farm family, everyone knows that sourdough has taken the internet by storm, and so today I wanted to show you where you can start on teaching your kids this old-fashioned skill without completely wanting to pull your hair out or lose your mind. Let's get into it. If you want to teach your kids how to do sourdough, I recommend also starting with sourdough pasta. You use your sourdough starter, eggs, flour, and you make pasta dough. And again, it's buildable like it was before to make raviolis, make homemade lasagnas with it, all that jazz. But it's a great place to start because you don't have to worry about getting your sourdough to rise or getting it at the right time period, because it can be used just with a discard. It can be a little bit more sour and it's okay. Then I recommend moving on to pancakes and waffles. Pancakes and waffles are great because, again, you use your discard. It's not as big of a deal if you get it on the wrong timing, and they're simple and kids love those. I don't know very many kids that don't like pancakes and waffles, and it's a great opportunity to use their homemade buttermilk syrup that I recommend making in our cooking from scratch. After your kiddos learn how to make sourdough pasta and sourdough pancakes and waffles, I recommend that they move on to learning one master dough recipe. Now, what is a master dough recipe? It's one bread recipe that can make multiple different things. So my master dough recipe can make an artesian loaf, but it can also make focaccia bread, stuffed breads or bread bowls, pita breads, bagels, naan, or pizza dough. And it's so versatile, so fun to use, and that way they only have to master one recipe and repeat that process over and over and over again, and then just change how their final dough is handled and cooked in the oven or on a pan in the case of like naan bread. You can even fry this dough in oil, like to make fry bread for Navajo tacos or scones. Now let me get you that recipe. Don't worry, I'm not going to gatekeep it. Instead, I'm sharing it with you right now. So ingredients, you'll need 575 grams of water at 77 to 80 degrees, 350 grams of start. This is usually the whole start minus 1 tablespoon to feed, unless you're working with a very, very large amount of start. 200 grams of bread flour and 650 grams of unbleached white flour. Or you could do 750 grams of white and 100 grams of whole wheat or whole grain of choice. Then 18 grams of salt. Now for the instructions. You'll mix the water and the start together in a large bowl with a dough whisk. You'll add flour a little at a time, mix with hands or a dough whisk until there's hardly any flour on the sides of the bowl. You'll let the mix sit for 40 minutes. After the dough is rested, you'll add the salt and gently turn the dough until you no longer can feel the salt, and you'll let that sit for 20 minutes. Gently stretch and pull each side of your dough while it's in the bowl. This is an envelope fold if you want to be able to look up more videos for it. You'll do this 4 more times every 20 minutes. Then you can divide your dough into even amounts. You can even do it in 6 small amounts if you're wanting to make a bunch of different things with this, or have like little small portion sizes for the kiddos. You'll let the dough rest again for 30 minutes while you prepare your baskets and liners with flour. You can also simply weigh your dough, mark down the weight, and place the dough in a large food-safe tub that will fit in your fridge and let it rise there. Sourdough baking is truly such an incredible old-fashioned skill that we can teach our kiddos from days gone by. This is something that our ancestors have been baking for so long, and it's so great that the internet is finally bringing it back to our culture. If If you're a longtime follower, then you know that I publish children's books that help teach kids these crucial old-fashioned life skills from homesteading to homemaking. And I use the classic beloved stories to do it, like Anne of Green Gables, Black Beauty, Swiss Family Robinson, Pollyanna. And so I wanted to just let y'all know that all of our children's books have recipes in them to teach these kids old-fashioned recipes that we've forgotten about from the actual time periods that the books were written in. I highly recommend Pollyanna or Anne of Green Gables if you're wanting to teach kids more old-fashioned baking skills from the recipes of the time period, as those are chock full of some truly fun, truly delicious recipes. So I made sure to include the link to those that gives you a discount code and a full syllabus detailing everything that's taught in each book. It was so fun to share these different tips and tricks in teaching your kids how to bake with sourdough today. I'm so excited to talk to you next time. We'll see you later, farm family.